to another Sync Executive Insights. I'm Jason Senamore, Chief Product Officer here at Sync, and I'm delighted to be joined here today by Nate Arnold, VP and CIO of the Americas for GE Gas Power. Nate, thank you very much for joining.
Absolutely, thanks for having me.
Delighted to have you. Nate is actually going to be joining us at our Southeast IT and Security Leaders Forum taking place down in Miami on March 15th to 17th, where he's going to be leading a session for the attendees around leadership within the generational divide. Obviously an important topic. We obviously know that talent isn't necessarily as challenging to find today, but attracting and retaining that talent can be. More importantly, managing that talent still poses an issue. So Nate, before we jump into what you hope to cover during your session and obviously what you want the attendees to take away from it, just give us a little bit of an overview, your perspective of why leadership within the generational divide continues to be a challenge that CIOs of all walks of life are experiencing.
Yeah, so I've been involved in the IT space and managing folks for about 20 years, and there's been quite an evolution over that period, both in the kind of work that we do as technology professionals, but also just the environment in which we're recruiting and attempting to retain our best talent. And one of the key takeaways for me is I've tried to get better myself at being a leader of IT professionals is recognizing that, I'm in a position now where the types of jobs are different than the ones that I've executed on my way to a leadership position. And when you fall back on kind of sharing your experience or suggesting that you're qualified to be a leader by having lived through all of the previous roles, that's just simply not the case now, and probably not the case for many of us who maybe have different skill sets along the path to our responsibilities. So it's been a very interesting challenge for me to explore and make sure that I'm being mindful of the types of things to consider when you're dealing not just with one generation removed from me with what is now 2 or even 3 generations of folks in the workforce that I need to make sure are as efficient and as engaged as possible.
Right. So looking at your session at the forum coming up next month, so what do you intend to kind of cover for the benefit of the attendees when looking at this particular challenge?
Yeah, so I just want to talk a little bit about the dynamic that we're seeing, right? I have the advantage working for GE, and that we have a pretty pervasive and a long-standing recruiting strategy and approach. We have a lot of leadership development programs that we've executed in multi-disciplines. So we've got a wealth of information that I'll share some insights around what we've learned as a company and some approaches and strategies that we've taken to kind of reach out to the right type of talent. And then I think I want to talk a little bit about the type of management style, again, leaning back into acknowledging that you may not be drawing on specific relevant experience, what type of leadership style resonates with this group, and some special considerations. For example, thinking that you yourself are managing a millennial generation, but recognizing that now, many of our workforce are millennials leading Generation Z. And there's a different dynamic in terms of how you might motivate a young people leader in the millennial generation to understand the differences between them and the Generation Z. And that dynamic's been probably one of the most exciting things for me to discover. So I hope to just share some notes with my experience, and certainly look forward to hopefully an active dialogue as well.
That's great. And you mentioned something there I want to just kind of hone in on a little bit is leadership styles, right? And I can imagine to be an effective leader, to tackle this challenge head on, certain individuals have certain styles, obviously, but the ability to, I suppose, be a kind of a leadership chameleon and adapt to different styles for different individuals would probably be an important component, right?
Yeah, I think, one of the most active things you think about micromanaging or maybe hands-on or always-on type of management styles. Often, we're dealing with young professionals who have had a breadth of experience that maybe we haven't in our careers or as early in our careers. So there's a different approach to understanding that they're going to have a level of expertise, they're going to have a level of expectation that simple things happen quickly and efficiently, and to take out that kind of mediocrity of what can be day-to-day work and really focus them on some of the harder challenges, and knowing that you're not going to manage them day to day or hour to hour on what to do to attack those challenges. And so you're right, you do have to be flexible in evaluating who might need that approach and resonate with that approach, but oftentimes the empowerment is a bigger tool.
Amazing. So for the folks that obviously have the benefit of coming to the forum next month and will be able to get exposed to your session, what do you ultimately want them to be able to take away from that and I suppose go and do the following day?
You know, I think a lot of it is just leaning back on some authentic leadership and understanding that sometimes the basics are what matter most. I think I myself have fallen in the trap of thinking that if I have a foosball table and some free bananas, that I'm gonna keep folks longer. And at the end of the day, people want a sense of purpose. They want to feel valued in their work. They want to be respected. And you know, it's easy to lose sight of that when you try to complicate factors around the generational considerations. And there are important differences that you should know. But at the end of the day, good leadership is good leadership. And if you care about your people and you focus on the things that matter, then I think you have a better shot at retaining and keeping those folks.
Brilliant. And yourself, obviously, will be an attendee at the conference itself. And so what are you most looking forward to outside of just the ability to share some of your own thoughts and ideas with the attendees?
You know, it's funny, as I've attended conferences and had, you know, at speaking events, I used to be drawn to the keynote sessions and the large sessions, but I find myself now enjoying the more casual interactions, smaller group settings, finding people who've had similar experiences and people who've had very different experiences than myself. So I really look forward to the starts and the stops of the formal events and the opportunities to catch people in the hallway and to expand my network. So I look forward to meeting folks, and I hope they'll be very proactive in coming up to me, introducing themselves and making a connection.
Brilliant, thank you. Well, certainly an important topic. I'm really looking forward to it. You know, it's very important as an industry. We don't just constantly look at all the technical challenges that people are experiencing, but we also look at the more strategic elements, and leadership is obviously a core component of that. So really looking forward to having you there. As mentioned, the Southeast IT and Security Leaders Forum is taking place March 15th to 17th down in Miami. Nate will be there along with many other speakers from CIOs and CISOs alike, and really looking forward to everyone's participation. For more information, please feel free to check out the landing page on the Sync website. But for now, thank you very much, Nate, and I look forward to seeing you next month.
Great. Look forward to it. See you there.